Are you experiencing this divine shift? 7 Miraculous Signs of Your Prophetic Transformation. Sarah stood at the entrance of the old chapel, feeling the cool evening breeze brush against her skin. The sun dipped low, casting golden rays through stained glass, igniting the air with an otherworldly glow. God's presence felt like electricity in her bones, coursing through her as she prepared to join her village for the evening vigil. Over the past few weeks, she sensed a stirring in her spirit, a divine calling that both thrilled and terrified her. As villagers gathered, their voices melded into a harmonious chorus, ascending like fragrant prayers to the heavens. Shadows danced on the stone walls, and Sarah's heart soared. She felt as if the very fabric of reality was shifting. A young mother stood by her side, witnessing her son, once bedridden, rise to his feet, declaring, "I am healed." Praise be. Tears streamed down Sarah's face. Was this the first of many miracles? Then, as if on cue, a flicker of light burst forth from the altar. An ethereal figure emerged seemingly suspended between the earthly realm and the divine. Gasps filled the chapel as people looked on in awe, their faith ignited. Sarah's pulse quickened. Could this be St. Jude, the patron of lost causes? Was he here to remind her of hope amidst despair? She closed her eyes, whispering desperate prayers for her son, who battled addiction. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Moments later, a woman cried out, her voice trembling. "My husband, he just walked." As the villagers rushed to witness, Sarah felt a deep stirring within her. Could prayer really turn despair into hope? The addicted and the broken were finding wholeness in this chapel. As they continued to pray, whispers of miracles floated through the gathered crowd. Neighbors embraced, relationships mended. An aura of divine light enveloped them all, bridging gaps of doubt. Yet, with the rising tide of miraculous signs came a crashing wave of doubt. Sarah's heart became heavy. Could she truly carry this divine calling amidst her son's struggles? She saw the worry in her friends' and family's eyes. Was her fervent faith worth the concern it brought? Would her divine inspirations bring more turmoil? As the evening vigil reached its peak, Sarah stumbled across an old relic of St. Jude, his symbol, a promise of faith in desperate times. Holding the relic, she felt warmth radiate from it, merging with the prayers above. Yet, as hope wrapped around her tightly, an unsettling fear crept in. Was this calling of God meant to guide her or mislead her? Villagers began to feel the impact deeply. Hearts changed, healing witnessed. Yet in the sanctity of the chapel's glow, Sarah wrestled with her questions, enveloped in sacred silence. Had they stepped into the light of miracles, or was this all a test of faith, ready to shatter everything they believed in? The evening hung in suspense, teetering between the miraculous and the unknown. What would tomorrow bring? Would the relic serve as a beacon of hope or reveal the depth of their trials? The candlelight flickered, casting playful shadows that danced across the walls of the chapel. As the villagers continued to pray, a comfortable hush settled over the space. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that the heaviness in her heart mirrored the tension in the air. A battle between belief and uncertainty waged within her. She clutched the relic tightly, it felt alive in her palm. The warmth resonated with her heartbeat, reminding her of the miracles swirling around her. Every joyous cry and every tear of relief seemed to pull her into a wondrous unity that she desperately craved. Yet doubt loomed like a dark cloud as she considered her own struggles. What if she had it all wrong? What if this was not a divine calling but a winding path that led her further from home? Amidst the miracle of healing, her son's battle lingered. The weight of his addiction tugged at her soul like a relentless tide. She wished for clarity, yet all she felt was deepening confusion. Then, as if her thoughts had reached the heavens, the figure of St. Jude grew brighter. Sarah could feel his presence wrapping around her a holy embrace. "Do not be afraid," his voice echoed through her mind, soft yet unmistakably firm. "Faith is not the absence of doubt, but the courage to trust even when you cannot see." Those words brought a rush of peace to her spirit, flooding the chapel with light. Others began to feel it too, reactions rippling through the assembly. A faint glow enveloped the villagers, illuminating each face with an expression of tenderness. An elder in the back, with tears glimmering in her eyes, whispered, "The Lord is with us. Look at his miracles." Even amidst her personal doubts, Sarah felt her breath catch in her throat. The outpouring of faith around her became palpable, as if it bonded them in unity against their fears. She gazed at the growing faith in her community, their postures reflecting unwavering hope and fervent prayers. In that moment, she realized that the true miracle was not merely in the healings, but in the collective strength they shared, a force larger than any single struggle. Yet, as the fervor heightened, so did her concern. What would it mean for her son? With a heart tethered in hope and fear, she dared to imagine healing for him too. Could prayer transcend even the deepest of addictions? Would her unwavering faith be enough to guide him home? As these thoughts churned within her, a melodic voice broke through the hushed awe. A young girl, perhaps no older than 10, sang a hymn that rang through the chapel. "His grace is sufficient for me." The melody soared, carrying the weight of their collective burdens toward heaven, and Sarah felt tears cascade down her cheeks, mixing joy with expectation. Suddenly, a hush enveloped the villagers again. Faint whispers hinted at a profound truth: more miracles are coming, more than we can see. The altar's light dimmed momentarily, creating an intimate atmosphere as if heaven itself paused, waiting and watching. In that divine moment, Sarah sensed a shift within her spirit. Perhaps this calling was not merely about her, but rather about the hope she could inspire in others. Could her love and prayers ignite a spark of transformation? With renewed resolve, her heart beat louder, syncing rhythmically with the prayers spiraling upward. In the divine turning of events, Sarah knew she had a pivotal choice to make. What steps would she take to bridge her struggles with the miracles at hand? As she pondered the path ahead, a commotion near the back of the chapel captured her attention. A figure rushed forward, breathless and wide-eyed. "Something incredible is happening." Curiosity tingled in the air, and she couldn't help but wonder what new revelation was unfolding before them. The figure approached, urgency radiating from every visible trembling limb. It was Emily, a young woman known for her quiet demeanor, now electrified with excitement. Her vibrant energy seemed to sync with the flickering candlelight, painting her face with a glow that momentarily eclipsed the flickering shadows. "Sarah!" Emily exclaimed, her voice a joyful crescendo. "You won't believe it. Tobias, he just spoke. He hasn't uttered a word in months, and now he is declaring praises. Right there in the square." The words hung in the air like a dropped stone, sending ripples of hope through the room. Sarah's heart raced. Tobias was her neighbor's son, long tormented by silence, his trauma rendered speechless. The villagers murmured in awe, an undercurrent of faith growing stronger. Perhaps this was the moment they had been praying for, the sign they believed would illuminate their shadows. Without hesitation, Sarah felt drawn to the door. The flame of curiosity ignited within her, urging her forward. "Let us go see," she said, grabbing Emily's hand tightly. The scent of the chapel mixed with the sweet fragrances spilling into the cool night, creating a heady mixture of anticipation and divine promise. As they stepped onto the cobblestone path, they could see a throng gathering in the square. Faces turned toward a young man standing on a wooden crate, Tobias, with tears streaming down his cheeks. His voice quaked with that initial vulnerability but quickly gained strength. "I thought I had lost everything," he proclaimed, lifting his eyes to the sky as though drawing strength from a higher source. "But tonight, I feel his presence. God is here." The crowd erupted into applause, a wave of hope and unity rushing through them. Even the most hesitant among them could not help but feel the stirrings of faith igniting like flames in their hearts. Caught in the moment, Sarah couldn't help but exclaim softly, "Could this really be happening?" She looked at Emily, who wore a smile of raw wonder. The surrounding villagers were becoming emboldened, their fears illuminated by the radiant light of transformation taking place before them. Whispers of newfound courage swirled like autumn leaves in a gust, lifting spirits to the heavens. As she watched, a clear thread weaved through the crowd. People began to share their own stories, testimonies of battles fought, healing sought, and the relentless quest for redemption. "It breaks the chains," shouted an older man, his voice cracking but spirit indomitable. Amidst the growing clamor, Sarah felt inspiration surge within her, a call to action. Each story told seemed to weave her own plea for her son into the very fabric of this night. She felt invigorated by the community's strength, their faith began to break down the walls of her own hesitations. Yet, another wave of thought crossed her mind. If miracles were truly unfolding before them, was there space for her personal plea? Would her son become part of this miraculous transformation? Desperate hope collided with anxiety in her heart, echoing her deepest prayers. The villagers' chants began to meld into a soft, harmonious song, filling the air with a sweetness that tugged at her soul. Each note wrapped around her like a warm blanket, coaxing her inner turmoil to calm. But deep down, a question loomed larger than the joy around her: what if the miracle she sought for her son remained just out of reach? As the song reached a crescendo, the atmosphere swelled. Was this divine moment simply a beginning, or could it hold the key to unlocking the doors she needed opened? In that sacred space, Sarah's gaze turned toward the sky. The stars twinkled above, each one a beacon of possibility. The chorus of voices echoed her yearning to the heavens, creating a bridge to the unknown. Could she muster the strength to step forward, embracing both her faith and her fears? The answer felt close, yet as elusive as the divine breath surrounding them. Perhaps the true miracle was not just in healing, but in the journey of courage it sparked within every heart present. What awaited them at this new horizon? Would Sarah find the path that intertwined her struggles with the hope blooming all around? The crowd's song ebbed gently, creating a peaceful lull that settled over the square like a warm embrace. Sarah, still holding Emily's hand, could feel her heart pulling her toward this collective energy of hope. It pulsated with fervor, wrapping around each villager and holding them closely, like a protective cloud against doubts. She could hear snippets of gratitude, people thanking God for their renewed spirits, for lifting burdens that had seemed too heavy to bear. Slowly, Sarah took a deep breath, her chest expanding with the weight of her unspoken desires. What if tonight was her moment too? The idea was exhilarating yet terrifying. The stories around her lit a fire of possibility. If Tobias could find his voice, perhaps her son could find his light. She closed her eyes for a brief moment, envisioning her son's laughter, the joyful echo merging with this magnificent harmony. "Tobias!" she called out, her voice barely above a whisper at first, then gaining volume as the warmth of courage consumed her. "Tobias! Your words have filled our hearts. May they reach beyond the horizon, touching those who still wait in silence." The crowd turned, their eyes aligning with hers, as a ripple of energy sparked in the air. Tobias, standing on that wooden crate, looked at Sarah, his eyes glistening with tears of understanding. He nodded lightly, as if imparting a shared secret of hope that resonated deeply within their weary souls. A hush fell over the square as if the very universe paused to listen. In the quiet, an elderly woman stepped forward, her gnarled hands shaking, holding a small rusted bell. "I have kept this bell for years, praying for the day I could ring it in joy instead of mourning," she said, her voice soft and steady. "Today, let us ring in our miracles." With trembling hands, she rang the bell, its sound clear and pure, reverberating through the hearts gathered there. Each chime seemed to build bridges between the past pains and the present joys. The villagers, inspired, began to raise their voices again, not just in song, but also in a chorus of hopes, dreams, and bold declarations of faith. Sarah felt her own voice rise up within her. We believe. We believe in miracles. The words tumbled out like a rushing river, cascading into the rhythmic flow of others' prayers, enveloping the night with a sacred hum. With each affirmation spoken, it was like peeling away layers of despair, revealing a bright potential that lay buried beneath. Their spirits entwined, and Sarah connected deeply with each person there, feeling as if their hopes formed a tapestry. What had been individual wounds began to heal as they wove their destinies together with love. She felt God's presence wrap around them like a warm cloak, whispering that something greater was on the horizon. Holding Emily's hand tighter, Sarah whispered, "I need a miracle, Emily. I need God to touch my son. Please, pray with me." Understanding danced in Emily's eyes as they bowed their heads together, pouring out their pleas, not just for themselves but for all the mothers and fathers yearning for a taste of healing. The unity in their prayers bound them tighter, a band of faith that could weather the storm. As the crowd swelled with renewed fervor, Sarah suddenly felt a flicker of something different in the air, an electric charge that spoke of transformation beyond her imagination. Could it be that the path to the miracle she sought for her son lay not just in the act of pleading, but in becoming part of the miracle unfolding all around her? With every heartbeat, the sense of divine mystery deepened, teasing at the edges of her understanding like the quick brush of a breeze. What awaited her in the depths of this faith-filled night? Would the very act of believing bring the answer they so desperately sought? And as the final echoes of their harmonies danced into the starry sky, one thought lingered above all others: had this moment the power to rewrite their stories forever? The air was thick with anticipation, a palpable energy that sent shivers down Sarah's spine. It felt like the very fabric of the night had been woven with threads of prayer and possibility. Flickers of light seemed to dance around them, not just from the stars overhead, but from within the hearts of the gathered souls. Each person held a spark, a flicker of faith that collectively created a magnificent glow. Sarah lifted her gaze, her heart full of hope. What if we could shine brighter together? She thought. It was in that moment that she truly understood, the miracle she sought for her son was not something far off. It was here, amidst this community, a union of love and belief. The elderly woman with the bell had raised her arms, inviting others to join in unison, ring out love. Let your spirits rise. Her words wrapped around Sarah, igniting a desire to share her story, her struggles, her fights, and her hopes. Friends. Sarah called out, her voice shaking but resolute. I stand before you a mother searching for light. My son, her voice cracked as her truth spilled forth. My son is lost in shadows, but I believe, just as you do, that tonight can be a beacon of healing. Gasps of understanding rippled through the crowd. Murmurs of encouragement surged like waves. She felt a surge of strength glitter throughout the square, a shared understanding of struggle, a profound ache that went beyond her own. Others too had lost loved ones, discovered pain, and wandered through dark abysses of doubt. And then, as if orchestrated by a higher hand, the crowd began to chant. We are here. We are with you. Their collective voice swelled, rising like a symphony toward the heavens. Sarah felt an overwhelming comfort envelop her. Each syllable, each affirmation of faith, began to chip away at the walls built by fear and despair. She felt God moving through them, weaving together a tapestry of shared strength, uniting each soul in their quest for love and healing. As the chanting crescendoed, she felt Emily squeeze her hand, the young girl's face radiant with purpose. In that moment, Sarah realized she was not merely a spectator of this unfolding miracle, she was an essential piece of it. Their prayers intertwined with the echoes of every other voice, creating something far greater than any single wish. And as the energy reached its peak, a fresh gust of wind swept through the square, carrying with it a sense of clarity and revelation. The villagers paused, surprised yet mesmerized by the story unfolding before them. The air shimmered, as if affirming that they were on the brink of something monumental. With the collective heartbeat of their faith pulsating around her, Sarah closed her eyes once more, surrendering herself to the divine energy around them. "I trust in you, Lord," she whispered. "Guide me. Let my son feel the warmth of this moment. Let him awaken to the love surrounding him." Tears flowed freely now, tears of hope, empowerment, and community bond. The bell rang again, brighter than before, echoing the promises of faith made under the stars. Something was shifting. The very essence of the evening promised transformation. What if in this gathering we not only witness change but become the change? She pondered, a thought shimmering at the fringes of her awareness. As the crowd lifted their voices again, an indescribable sense of possibility loomed over them, tantalizing and inviting. And in the depths of her heart, a stirring began, urging her onward. What divine surprises awaited them as the tapestry of their stories began to intertwine? Would they find not only healing but a powerful direction in the face of their miracles? With that, the sacred mystery thickened in the air, waiting for the next illuminating moment to unfold. As the moonlight wrapped around them like a gentle embrace, Sarah's heart raced with a newfound rhythm. The love radiating from the gathered souls was like a beacon, bright and unwavering. She could feel it pulsing through her veins, each beat an echo of hope and belief. The winds swirled, carrying whispers of dreams and unfulfilled promises. The crowd remained united, their bodies swaying slightly as they chanted, the words flowing like a river of faith. Sarah opened her eyes to see faces illuminated not just by the moon, but by a shared understanding of their need for healing. Eyes gleamed with unshed tears, hearts beat loudly with faith. "Tonight, we rise together," the elderly woman declared again, her voice a trumpet breaking through the limits of despair. She continued, "Let us not only pray for one another but be the light we wish to see." Each word resonated, striking a chord deep within Sarah's soul. Inspired, she took a step forward, feeling the weight of her mission surge within her. "Let us weave our stories tonight," she called out, her voice holding the fervor of a mother's love. "Together, we can create miracles that spill into our lives and those we cherish." The atmosphere shifted. A deep silence fell over the crowd, everyone hanging on her words as if they were the very breath of life. Lives touched by darkness, fear, and longing now felt the flicker of courage igniting in their chests. Emily, still by her side, mirrored Sarah's spirit, her small frame pulsing with excitement. "We can share our burdens." The girl chimed in, her youthful eyes alight with the flame of courage. "Let us pass our worries to one another. You don't have to carry your pain alone." The villagers began to murmur, their willingness to kneel together, to share burdens, to weave their collective heart into one. As they gathered in tighter circles, arms interlocked, there was something miraculous in the air. The elderly woman started to ring her bell again, its sound clearer, as if it were announcing a dawn breaking through the night. It became a rhythm, as others slowly began to clap their hands, creating a beat that reverberated throughout the square, not just a celebration, but a manifestation of faith. In that moment, Sarah felt a spark of hope beyond anything she had known. "This is it," she thought, an overwhelming sense of recognition settling in her heart. "This is the shift. It's more than just my son, it's all of us." The villagers began to sing softly, their voices harmonizing, merging into a sacred chorus that welcomed divine presence. Every note carried their supplications, intertwining through the cool night like golden threads in an ageless tapestry. Sarah felt herself lifted, as though the very air beneath her feet was swirling with promises. "Lord, bless this gathering." She prayed internally, gratitude spilling from her heart. "Let every person here feel loved and supported. Let us be conduits of wonder. Bring us healing." In the warm embrace of collective intention, a soft glow began to radiate from the center of their circle, illuminating the faces of friends and neighbors alike. This sacred light felt like a divine caress, gentle yet powerful, beckoning them further. Sarah inhaled deeply, the fragrance of faith filling her senses. What awaited them as they pressed deeper into this divine space? What transformations would rise from the ashes of their struggles? As the sacred glow enveloped them, Sarah's heart raced with both excitement and uncertainty. Would they witness miracles that evening? Would the very essence of their gathering be the catalyst for healing, not just for her son but for all who dared to hope? The air thickened with anticipation, a divine silence hanging before new beginnings blossomed, a promise waiting to break free into the world, and, like a candle flickering against the night, the questions lingered. What would be the first miracle they would witness together? The warm glow continued to grow, filling the night with a luminous embrace that felt alive and pulsating. Hearts and minds converged in a sacred union, and all at once, Sarah sensed that something monumental was stirring, pushing at the edges of their collective faith. Each participant in the circle closed their eyes, surrendering to the moment. The wind danced through the branches above, whispering promises as if nature itself was joining in their endeavor. Fear began to melt away like frost under the morning sun. A miracle is not just what we see, but in what we feel, Sarah reminded them softly. Her words bound them, drawing smiles and affirmations as they whispered back their own echoed belief. Tonight, we embrace the impossible. Together, we break free. The sounds of birds settling for the night faded into the background, allowing the voice of the elderly woman to rise once more. Let us each take a moment to share. Her eyes twinkled with wisdom, knowing that vulnerability weaves the strongest tapestry of community. One by one, voices began to thread the air, each story bursting forth like spring flowers breaking through winter's grip. A young man spoke of a father long estranged, his heart filled with regret and longing. An elderly widow shared her sorrow, the weight of loss heavy but softening in the light of love as she embraced her neighbors with an open heart. With each heartfelt confession, their burdens seemed to lift, becoming lighter, transformed into notes of a song that traveled higher and higher. Tears flowed freely, not from pain but from the joy of release. Nearby, a group took to sharing their joys, victories in health, family, and love, igniting a sense of hope, lighting a fire in the hearts listening intently around them. Sarah felt the warmth of their stories wrap around her, the miraculous truth of their connections igniting her spirit. We see each other. We hear each other. She declared. Each of us is a vital thread, a vital part of this beautiful tapestry. What we live together can cover the darkest moments. As the last stories were shared, Emily raised her small hands with eagerness, her innocent excitement infectious. We should pray. Let us ask for our dreams to intertwine with God's will. Eager responses burst forth, like leaves rustling in a burgeoning breeze. Yes. Came a chorus of voices, eager to ignite a spark that could illuminate even the deepest shadows. Quickly, they dropped to their knees, hearts entwined in a mad rush of intentions and prayers. Each word spoken, each plea whispered seemed to pool in the air as if inviting heavenly listeners to join their gathering. Heads bowed, they squeezed hands, sending the electricity of connection zipping through the circle. The elderly woman rang her bell once more, resonating like an echo of ancient times, ushering in reverence with its beautiful clang. Let us trust. Let us believe. She said, her voice a steady drumbeat beneath it all. In this heightened moment of unity, each individual felt the light intensifying, the energy swirling around them, building pressure like a coming storm. A soft warmth seemed to gather at the center of their circle, visible and tangible, the presence of the divine flooding them. What comes next? Sarah wondered, heart racing with hope and excitement. Would their faith manifest the miraculous healing they so deeply sought? Was it now time for the full transformation to bloom before their eyes? And as that thought settled in, a pulse akin to a heartbeat resonated in their midst, urging them to remain open, to trust that the miraculous was not only possible but already unfolding. In that expectant space filled with radiant light and faith-filled murmurs, a question lingered in the air: what would become of their prayers, and how much more profound might their experience become as they welcomed the divine mystery. As they knelt in prayer, the air around them thickened with a spiritual presence, almost palpable. An unfamiliar sensation began to sweep through the group, shimmering with a gentle warmth. It was as if the very fabric of the universe was shifting, reality felt softer, more pliable, a canvas inviting their deepest hopes to paint a new picture. Emily, with her innocent faith, led the group in a spontaneous chant that swirled through the night like a breeze lifting leaves. We believe. We believe. The rhythm pulsed with enthusiasm, echoing off the sturdy trunks of the trees, weaving into the very essence of the evening. It was alive, filled with longing and assurance, a melody born from the heart of their collective hope. The elderly woman, sensing the shift, lifted her hands high. The bell in her grasp gleamed in the glow of the light, and with each chime, a divine resonance echoed. Each prayer is sacred. Each heart is a lantern. Let them shine. Her voice rang clear, tapping into the energy flowing around them, merging their disparate desires into a singular vision of healing and hope. One by one, they began to pray out loud, their voices blending into a symphony of faith. A man's voice trembled as he declared his wish for reconciliation with his estranged father. Beside him, a woman shared her desire for health and vitality. The weave of their pleas became thicker, stronger, binding them tighter in their conviction. Sarah closed her eyes, surrendering to the moment, allowing the radiant energy to envelop her. Beneath her heart's rhythm, she could feel a gentle pull, as if something greater was descending upon them, listening intently to their offerings. What a gift it was to be part of this sacred moment. Suddenly, a gust of wind rushed through the circle, catching them off guard. Leaves danced around them, twisting and twirling, a lively twirl inspired by unseen hands. Gasps filled the air, but no one stepped back, rather, they leaned in closer, yearning to understand the message that the wind might carry. "Can you feel it?" a young woman whispered, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "It's a promise. A sign." The crowd erupted in eager agreement, optimism radiating like sunlight peeking through the branches overhead. They exchanged glances, connected by a shared understanding. A flame ignited within them all. In that magnificent moment, Sarah felt a wave of certainty wash over her. God is moving. We must trust that our prayers are being heard. Her heart beat in rhythm with theirs, each pulse a testament to their shared faith. The atmosphere thickened with expectancy. The ground beneath them felt sacred, like holy soil waiting for seeds of hope to be sown. "Pay attention," Sarah urged, her voice steady, "the shift is upon us. Something wonderful is about to happen." It was as if the universe itself held its breath. Laughter bubbled up from the joy-soaked group, mingling with the rustle of leaves and the soft singing of distant night creatures. And just then, from within their circle, a figure emerged, a bright silhouette stepping into the light that enveloped them all. Whispers of wonder danced like fireflies through the air. "What is this?" Sarah gasped, half excited and half hesitant. As the ethereal figure drifted closer, a profound stillness seized the gathering. A thrumming pulse of divine energy washed over them, igniting a sense of both awe and trepidation. They were on the brink of something glorious yet unknown, holding their collective breath as they gazed at the unfolding mystery. What was the purpose of this celestial presence? What truth awaited them just beyond the veil? The night was pregnant with possibility, and Sarah sensed the answer coiling in the air, ready to burst forth. Is this the moment we've been waiting for? She wondered, heart racing with anticipation. With the divine mystery before them, what revelation was at hand as they continued to journey deeper into faith? The presence before them shimmered, radiating clarity and purpose. The figure seemed to pulse with light, drawing every gaze, every heartbeat, every apprehensive breath of the group into its core. Sarah felt an inexplicable urge to step closer. Others followed suit, their willingness mingling with the sacred air, creating a harmony within the anticipation. "What do you bring to us?" Sarah called out, her voice trembling yet filled with courage. The figure hesitated, then gestured gently. As though an unseen force swirled around them, the collective breath of the gathering mingled with the rustling leaves, creating an orchestra of nature that echoed deeply within their souls. Light shifted, illuminating a smile on the figure's face. "I bring a message, a reminder," it spoke, voice like honey, rich and soothing. "You are seen, heard, and loved." Every prayer cast into the ether ripples through eternity. A wave of warmth surged through Sarah and the others, igniting a fresh fervor. It felt as if the heavens themselves were listening, cradling their hearts in divine grace. Look at each other. The figure continued, now inviting the group to embrace. Your hearts are linked, bound by hope. Each prayer shines like stars in the night sky, though they may seem distant, collectively they create a new constellation of possibility. Trust in this. Nodding heads and wide-eyed wonder enveloped the crowd as they exchanged affirming glances. Emily squeezed Sarah's hand. The elderly woman, still cradling her bell, began to chant softly, "We are one." The figure stepped forward, reaching out. In moments of doubt, it declared, "Remember that every struggle holds the seeds of transformation. You will witness miracles, but first, you must open your hearts to receive." "But how?" a young man asked, voice breaking through the stillness. "How do we let this transformation happen?" "By embracing your fears," the messenger answered, eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Let them guide you, not hold you back. You are never alone in this journey. Look how the trees share the wind, they bend, they sway, but they do not break. Allow your spirits to be buoyed by faith." Sarah's heart swelled with comprehension. The message unfurled like delicate petals before her. Answers resonated within her like an age-old echo, filling the spaces of doubt with joy. "We are to bend, not break," she whispered, almost to herself, letting the words flow through her. The figure nodded, and suddenly, the air around them shimmered brighter, fabric of the night bending to the spell of hope. "Remember, dear ones, each moment of challenge is an invitation to rise, to expand. And every token of kindness you offer is a thread woven into the fabric of this world." This sparked a ripple of chatter among the gathered, each one feeling lighter, buoyed by the truth revealed. "Kindness," Emily marveled, starry-eyed. "I can do that." "Indeed," chimed the elderly woman. "Let our light shine as we work together." As agreement washed over them, Sarah felt a tangible pulse of unity. It was a promise and assurance that they were not simply bystanders but participants in a great divine tale unfolding. This was the invitation, an awakening to something far larger than themselves. The figure's presence began to fade, enveloped by a veil of shimmering light. "Carry this truth within you," it said, voice lingering in the air like the sweet scent of blooming jasmine. "The shift begins with your belief and extends into the realms you touch." How will your journey unfold? Silence enveloped them, leaving only one question echoing in the night, resonating with a deep longing for exploration. What path would they choose to embrace the light, and would they recognize the miracles starting to bloom? As the figure dissolved into light, a renewed sense of purpose washed over Sarah and the community, wrapping them in a warm cocoon of divine assurance. They opened their eyes, the glimmer of hope igniting a passion for transformation. It was time to step forward, not just for themselves but for each person touched by their prayers. We will rise together," Sarah declared, her voice breaking the silence like a bell ringing with intention. Others echoed her, affirming the urgency of the moment. No longer mere observers of miracles, they were now active participants. Their hearts pulsed in unison, a shared commitment to sow seeds of hope in the lives of those around them. With newfound determination, they formed circles within the square, joining hands, their hearts beating as one. One by one, they began to share personal stories. "I lost my job, but I won't lose my faith," shouted a young father, a sparkle in his eyes. And with each testimony, the collective energy intensified, lifting them higher with each heartbeat. "Hope," Sarah called out, tears of joy cascading down her cheeks. "Let our stories be the soil in which faith can grow." As words of healing and struggle flowed, a stirring emerged, people's layers peeling back, revealing raw wounds and heartfelt vulnerabilities. Together, they found power in the sharing, shining brighter with each confession. The elderly woman rang her bell again, amplifying the vibrations of their shared journey, a reminder that every story mattered. "Let us create a circle of healing," someone suggested, urgency dancing in their voice. They tightened their formed circle, every heart pledging compassion and understanding. In that sacred space, the atmosphere thickened with possibility. Each prayer resonated like an offering to the heavens, entwining their hope like vines reaching toward the sun. Sarah squeezed Emily's hand, both girls locking eyes, sharing an unspoken bond of belief. "For my son," she whispered fiercely, a torrent of love flowing from her heart. "Let this healing extend to him." In that moment, a hush fell again, anticipation swirling thickly in the air. A powerful wave of energy surged through them. They breathed deeply, letting gratitude radiate from their core. With each inhale, they drew in divine light, with each exhale, they released their fears, doubts, and burdens into the night. Trust in transformation. A voice called, echoing the sentiments shared earlier. They all responded with logos of agreement, filling the night with a chorus of belief. The energy pooled, spiraling at the center of their circle, igniting a flame of hope that flickered brightly, casting pure light against the dark canvas of the night. A collective knowing settled among them. "Let us pray together," Sarah urged as they began to lift their voices in unison again. "Lord, let your miracles shower upon us. Let our voices unite to break chains. Let every heart feel the warmth of your love." As their prayers intertwined, a palpable shift occurred in the atmosphere. The very air crackled with anticipation, vibrating with the echoes of their heartfelt hopes. A moment stretched into eternity, and a sudden warmth enveloped them all, a divine embrace wrapping around each soul, filling them with purpose. Across the square, whispers began to circulate, unity blossomed as others joined them, creating a river of souls flowing toward the light. The vibrancy grew, swelling with the knowledge that they were not alone, each individual igniting the flame of healing within the community. Time ceased to matter, the sacred present enveloped them. And then, a miraculous surge erupted from the heart of the circle, glimmers of light breaking through, illuminating the faces of those gathered, one by one. Each flicker represented a transformative experience, revealing the intricate beauty of their shared journey. "What are you feeling?" a villager asked, breaking through the awe. As each person paused to reflect, one by one they spoke, "I feel free. I feel light. My spirit is expanded." Sarah's heart soared. It was unfolding, the clear evidence of miracles happening among them. It was real, raw and unmistakable. The waves of faith they had conjured were truly reshaping lives. And then, a quiet stillness enveloped them again, the night humming with the resonance of their collective triumphs. An autumn breeze whirled around them, drawing tears from their eyes, joy spilling over. "Let us carry this warmth into our lives," Sarah urged, faith brimming in her voice. "As we go into the world, may we touch every heart we encounter. Let these miracles resonate beyond this night." "Yes," they cried. "We will share hope. We will be vessels of love." With spirits emboldened, they gathered their resources, blending energies into the night. Each step woven into the sacred fabric of their shared mission redirected their struggles, transforming them into testimonies of healing. They walked forward into the darkness, hearts aglow with hope, ready to illuminate their paths with divine grace. And even as they departed, a whisper of divine assurance lingered in the air: "You are never alone. Keep believing. Your stories matter, and your faith will move mountains." The night became their canvas, painted with the colors of hope and miraculous transformation. And as the dawn broke, bringing light to a new day, they understood the journey ahead was not just theirs but a beautiful testament of faith that would spread to all who needed it. Now is the time to spread this hope the world must know. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. The atmosphere is charged with divine purpose, and only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting this journey. Don't wait even one more second to share.